Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 7th. You have this Find Your Haven card. It says, there's a place of wonder waiting just for you. You have this Flow with the Rhythm card. It says, get lost in the rhythm of movement today. So maybe you need to start making moves here, Scorpio, or moving towards things. Yeah, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. And he has these oak leaves on his helmet. And those oak leaves kind of represent the fact that he has all the knowledge and wisdom necessary to plant seeds in that field behind him, and they will grow. So it's kind of like a little bit of an overthinking card, and a little bit of kind of like not getting started when you should type a card, and a little bit of a slow movement card as well. It's not necessarily bad. The Knight of Pentacles does represent progress, but slow progress. So I feel a lot of you, it's like kind of asking you to just make any move, to move in general, even if you're stuck. That's the other thing I tell people all the time. Not to talk about myself here too much, but it's like, as I always say, I was stuck in my room for like 5 years doing nothing with my life. And, I am convinced, like the first thing I did is I started going for a walk every single day, and practically overnight my life changed. I mean, within a very short period of time, I started this channel right here. That was like, that happened, right? And so, my life started moving forward when I was stuck for a very long period of time. And I didn't know what to do. I had no answers. So, that card says flow with the rhythm. And it's like sometimes I think we just need to move, literally. We just need to move forward. I think that's what I think it is with walking in particular, is that you're moving forwards, right? You are literally going forward. Unless you're a weirdo and you walk backwards, which whatever. But, again, I think that is the key here. It's like you don't have to do exactly what you're trying to do. You can do something related. And, I don't know, that might sound weird, but that's what life has taught me. So, is that we don't have to like be doing exactly what we want. We can do something that is adjacent, or we can do something that is the smallest version, right? Forward movement is like the smallest version of success, you could say, or one of. And, I think that would be very helpful for you. On top of that, I do feel a little bit of love here. It's kind of weird. Like, there are no love cards really, but I do feel like someone is either preparing to make a move, or it's like someone's about to make a move. I don't know. It feels very specific to me as well, like work. And especially if you work at a restaurant, I don't know, that's popping into my head intuitively. Take it or leave it. But if you like work at a restaurant, if you think a person is interested, then the answer is yes. But that might only be for like two of you. You have the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of patience. I think you have been patient enough. It's kind of like annoying because, really all the fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo right here, get the Strength card. I think fixed signs have been very patient. The good news is I do feel your patience is about to be rewarded in a lot of ways. She is putting on a display of strength. She is taming this lion. And I always say, who in their right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? And the answer is nobody. So, the card itself can represent strength, or, having the strength to do something that requires strength. And I feel like you do here, Scorpio. I feel like you are maybe receiving recognition as well for your strength because you have the Empress. The thing about the Strength card is that, again, this is a display of strength. Like, people are seeing how strong she is. And the Empress is an amazing card of getting attention. Empress can be a little bit of a glow up. Personally, I need to see the star and the sun in a reading. The Empress, star, and sun in a reading is my glow up combination, or whatever you want to call it. But she is glowing. She is getting attention. So, and she is very attractive at this time. Doesn't matter what gender you are. So, definitely would be a good time to get attention. But you really also could be getting abundance for your strength. If you've been patiently working, in business or career, you could be getting some sort of boost or a boost in your abundance is what I'm trying to say here with the Empress. And I feel that would be very good for you. I also get like another weird message here that you have completed something like a class or a certification or something like that. Maybe you're getting your real estate license. I don't know. It's like, that's kind of what's popping into my head. But if you have done that, I literally feel whatever you have completed could be the thing that is going to increase your abundance with this card. So love it. That looks amazing. Let's keep going here, and let's see what we get for you here, Scorpio. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Six of Pentacles. I do feel good about this because he needs to plant seeds, the Knight of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is my card of planting seeds. But but it's like maybe you've been waiting for your seeds to grow. I know what this is, Scorpio. It literally just popped into my head. I feel like this is saying, I used to say to people all the time, like one of the number one questions I used to get all the time, people would say, I have this idea for a book. Should I write it? And I used to say to those people all the time, well, real writers write, whether people read it or not, right? So to be a writer, you have to write every single day, right? And so it doesn't matter if it's successful or not. And people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth, right? And that's kind of what's popping into my head is like, there's something about this Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, that's saying, instead of like looking for results or waiting for results, it's like saying continue to put the work in if you want to be something. It's kind of like YouTube. I teach YouTube on the weekends, and I've had a lot of people where, I see a theme where people will create one video and then they'll stop. And they'll wait to see what happens with that video. I'm like, that you are not going to be successful. You have to keep creating. You cannot stop if you're going to be a creator, right? And so that's kind of like what's popping into my head here with this card is that, it's like if you're going to do something, you have to do it consistently. And you have to plant those seeds consistently. And I would. Because you will be successful. Are you kidding? With the Strength card, you have the Star. So there's one right there. We are very close to a glow up. Very good cards for attention. I kind of feel like the Star is saying you are a star, Scorpio, but, it's like maybe you haven't realized it yet. Like, I feel good about it, but I definitely feel there's a need to embrace this, like a need to believe that you are a star in whatever it is that you do. And, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to become famous. I think it's more saying that you are very skilled or you are very good at something you do, but you really have to believe it. With the Empress card, you have the Magician. Yeah, the Magician. So we have the Magician. He's pointing towards the Eight of Cups here. The thing about the Eight of Cups is that the Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. And it's like sometimes I do think part of manifestation is cutting things out. It's like sometimes people will say to me like, oh, I'll start that business like when I make enough money to quit my job. It's like, no, you should do it right now because basically what you're saying is I need these circumstances to look a certain way for me to do something. It's like, no, you can get started right now. So that is like the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups says when you walk away from something and you no longer tolerate something, that's when you will be successful. And, that's what the Magician is saying. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Burst of Magic card and this beautiful Uncaging card. All fixed signs, I do believe, are opening their hearts, right? So the beautiful Uncaging card can be a card of opening your heart and, all that other good stuff. So I think opening your heart would be a good idea. I think believing in a little bit in magic would be a good idea for you as well, Scorpio. Not like necessarily real magic, but just believing that good things are meant to happen for you is, half the battle, right? I'm convinced. I think that people who believe they're lucky, really truly are lucky. I had a friend in high school, and we literally used to call him Dumb Luck because he always got lucky on things, like just random ass stuff that he would get lucky and win stuff. Like crazy circumstances would happen for him, but there was no other way in his brain. He truly believed that he was lucky. So I don't know, whether you believe in luck or not, I don't care. But what I would say is I think that it's free to believe that you're lucky. So whether you believe it's true or not, you might as well try it, right? You have the Three of Cups, the Hangman, and the Eight of Cups. Three of Cups, the card of celebration. I do feel this is a very social week for whatever reason. And so if you have any opportunities to socialize with people who matter to you or people who are important to you, I do think it would be a good week for, that. I also kind of feel like people are more on your side this week, Scorpio. And so you could get a little bit of a boost. Like, I'm getting weird messages in your reading. Damn. I don't know why, but it's like I'm getting very, your reading feels more channeled to me, if that makes sense. And it's like saying, but this is saying to me that, if you're trying to get something this week, now would be the week to do it. Let's say you're trying to get a job, and let's say that you need people to answer their frickin' phone so that they can give you a reference. This is the week. Would be the week, and even this week. Today is June 30th, so this video will be published on the 1st of July. And so even if you're watching this early, I think this, the rest of the week of the 30th, whenever you watch this video, and the week of the 7th, I think it would be a really good time for you to get the help of other people, because I feel like they'll be there. That's literally what the message I'm getting here. So like I said, this could be for a reference. Maybe you just want to have fun with your friends. It's this is the week to do it. You have the Hangman. every single person getting the Hangman because I think that it's because we have Uranus going to Gemini. I say I think because I don't actually know, but that is what I'm going to blame for sure. Uranus and Gemini is definitely, I think I just said Taurus, but Uranus and Gemini is what I'm talking about. Uranus and Gemini will bring in new perspectives for all of us. And I don't even attempt to predict what will happen with Uranus and Gemini because Uranus is unpredictable, plain and simple. But I think that a lot of us, on a personal level, we could be seeing things from other perspectives, or we could be getting other points of view on things that we're trying to accomplish. And again, this is going to be a good thing. I kind of feel that it could be pretty good. I'm not so sure how I feel about Uranus and Gemini just in general. I don't know. I think it's going to continue the craziness for sure, but in some ways, but I think on a personal level, it could bring in new perspectives where we find other ways of doing things, and those other ways could be very successful. So, it could be a good thing. You have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, which I definitely feel it is a good time for you, or would be a good time for you to cut things out that no longer serve you. I think it would be a good time for you to, also not be afraid to eclipse things out of your life as well. So the Eight of Cups is about kind of like eclipsing or cutting something out of your life, and a lot of you could be doing that with these cards. With the Three of Cups, you have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands can represent walking away. It can represent pointing in one direction. It is a card of rapid success. So with the Eight of Wands, we have to focus in one direction and make it happen. So the Eight of Wands, all those arrows are pointing in one direction. And that's the trick with the Eight of Wands, is that as long as we are focused in one direction, we will find success. And but if we're scattered, we're going to have a hard time. So I do feel this is encouraging focus. This is also a card of socializing to me. So, again, I think it's with the Three of Cups, like we were saying, I think it could be an amazing time to socialize. With the Hangman, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, gratitude and luxuries and being grateful for what you have. Nine of Pentacles is a card of heaven on earth, right? You have this card that says, find your haven, not heaven, haven. But, I don't know. It's kind of popping into my head here, Scorpio, that there might be a lot of things you can do to bring a little bit of heaven down to earth. Now, will it be perfect? No. But, I think right now we are in a time where it's critically important that we make the world a little bit better of a place, in any way we possibly can. That could be by, creating something beautiful, by doing something nice, by, doing whatever. I think we are in a time where it's critically important that we do all of that. With the Eight of Cups, you have the the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is about seeing things clearly for the first time. And she only has clouds halfway up her body, so I do feel you could be gaining a lot of clarity on your future. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Barrier card and this Awaken card. I kind of feel like you're awakening to things that need to change in yourself. I actually feel pretty good about this, Scorpio. It's like you are changing in a good way. It's like we all have things that we have to change about ourselves. We all have things that hold us back. And I kind of feel like you're seeing those things. You start with Death card, which is a change, and also your card. So, in a lot of ways, I feel like you are kind of seeing the things that have held you back for a long time. And I feel like you're seeing things that maybe you could improve about yourself or about your situation. And I just feel like you're making those changes, for the better. So I feel this is pretty good. Again, you have the Death card, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. The Death card is just you. Whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So I do like when people show us up as themselves in readings. The Death card can also represent seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We have this white rose right here on his banner, and it kind of represents the fact that he is seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So there you go. I think a lot of you are kind of getting through a difficult period of time. This has been a little bit of a theme for you, Scorpio. I think Scorpio has had a difficult period of time for a long time, though. So it's kind of like it's about time, if I can't stop saying the word time. But it's about time for a change for Scorpio. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Yes, I think you're just looking at yourself, like I said. The Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at the Seven Pentacles, and he's saying, is it worth it or not? I see you looking at yourself, and it's like you're looking at the things that might hold you back. Maybe they don't hold you back. Maybe they do. And I feel that some things you're going to keep doing. other things you're going to cut out. Just that simple. And of course, this will be a good thing. I really feel good about this, Scorpio. Again, it's kind of like boring. I know, like, it's kind of funny because whenever I've tried to do like personal development readings in the past, they always fail. I don't really know why. It could be me. I'm not blaming any of you. But what I would say is like people are more interested in love and money, right? And so it might sound a little bit boring, but I don't think it is. I think you're doing some deep work on yourself, which is good. I think you're cutting things out, which is probably good, and you're like more focused on doing things that fulfill you or lift you up, or create a little bit more heaven on earth with that Nine of Pentacles. You have the Page of Wands. I also think you're realizing that you have to have more fun. The interesting thing is that I do think, like, I felt weird. I have felt weird for a while. Like, I feel on edge. I feel like something's about to happen in the world. I've talked about this a little bit before as well, and I still think that might be true, that there could be something crazy that happens because, like, who the hell... I don't know. I probably shouldn't say it on YouTube, but I think something. And, what I would say is I think other people feel it as well. But, it's like at the same time, it's like I also believe that we can prevent bad things from happening if we get into a good energy. So should we focus on it? I think we should pay attention, but I also think we should be doing whatever we can to bring more love, joy, peace, happiness into the world, which I talk about all the time, because that is the only solution, is to change the energy. And I really feel we have to. And the Page of Wands wants us to be more happy-go-lucky. The Page of Wands wants us to be more playful, go on more adventures, wants us to live our lives. But I think what people need to realize is that we are the ones that are going to change things. It's definitely not going to be the government. It's not going to be the aliens landing and saving us. It's going to be us. I think that's what people need to realize. Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is the collective, but I think people forget that Pluto and Aquarius is about being an individual. So, it's like, it's not like there's going to be some sort of collective hive mind, although that definitely could happen. If we're not careful, we could all get plugged into the matrix, become part of the, AI and become AI slaves. That absolutely could happen. I think the better alternative is that we save ourselves, us little people, and we decide to change. We decide to change the energy, make things better, right? And that's what I would do with the Page of Wands. With the Death card, you have the Lovers. I think I said that at the beginning of the reading. Not really a love reading, but could be love coming in for you. I felt it at the beginning. I feel like you're attracting someone who's a little bit slower. They take their time more. But this is not a bad thing. I think this is a good thing. So again, this person, they might take their time more. It's like maybe you feel like they're moving slower. Like if you, let's say you meet this person in the future and you go on dates, like maybe you feel like they move very slowly. But one thing I think that's popping into my head here for you, Scorpio, is that you are attracting a person who maybe is like very diligent and who is very kind of, I think they take a very measured approach to life. And so, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. But definitely could be a new person. You also can't make this up. You have the Five of Pentacles here. How many times in the past 2 years, or year maybe, have I said to you, it's like you are attracting someone who's been through something very similar to you. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, you are going to meet a person that has a very similar story to you. There you go. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Definitely changing your fortunes. You are changing your own fortunes. That is always true with the Wheel of Fortune. I love the Wheel of Fortune, but I think that people make it out to be a little bit better than it actually is. Because the Wheel of Fortune is our destiny. It's how we think it's going to go. It's not necessarily our, true destiny or whatever you want to call it. So with the Wheel of Fortune, we have to take control of the wheel. And just like I said, we can do that by focusing on the good stuff and getting rid of the bad stuff just as quickly. And that's exactly what I would do with that card. With the Page of Wands, you have two cards here. You have the Ace of Wands and the King of Cups. You could be attracting another water sign. You have basically every sign here, so it really could be any sign that you're attracting. You have a card that pretty much represents everything, so it could be anything that's coming in for you. I would say this person's very emotionally in control. Now, this will become very important, especially like next year, because of Neptune and Saturn and Aries. We're going to see a lot of people blowing their lids. We're going to see a lot of public freakouts. We're going to see a lot of, Will Smith moments, people slapping people on stage, stuff like that, right? The difference is that, this is a cool head on the positive side of things. So while everyone is freaking out, this person is perfectly fine. I've been saying it for months. I think this type of person is going to be very attractive to everyone because they're just not freaking out like everybody else about every little thing that's going on. So again, you could be attracting a person like that. Ace of Wands definitely says there will be a lot of attraction here. So I don't know. Looks good to me. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this travel card. It says, you're attracting positive movement or travel that will bring your desires to fruition. Yes. It's an amazing time to travel for some reason. I don't know what's going on. It's like, even, I might have said this to you in one of your recent readings, but it's like, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I travel a lot. Normally, I'm shooting my videos all over the place. Have been for years, right? And I move a lot as well. This is like literally, I have not moved for the last year, right? I have not gone anywhere for the last year. And then what's weird is like 2 weeks ago, I booked a bunch of trips all at once because I was like, I need to get out of here. And so August, I'm traveling. August, October, and December, I am traveling, right? And probably more. You have this toxic triggers card. It says, find the strength to remove yourself from toxic influences in your life. Yes, everybody needs to do this for sure. Oh, where I was going with the travel thing is even if you can't travel, this could be like traveling mentally. This could be like learning a new skill or going on an adventure from home. All those things are going to be very beneficial for you. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the Queen of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is, I think, good. It's coming up in the good stuff. But number one, I feel you could be attracting someone who has a very, very similar story to you, which has been repeating for you for a while. So if you're looking for love, definitely get out there. The Five of Pentacles can also say, in the good stuff, can say you're coming out of poverty. And, you have very good money cards. Now, maybe you haven't been, maybe you're not, I'm not saying you're like in poverty, but, maybe you have, certain money blocks, which I think I talked about in one of your last readings as well, which is weird. It's popping into my head again. So you could be overcoming these things, and of course that will improve your situation. You have the Temperance card. Temperance says only you can change your situation. I make the joke all the time, like only you can prevent forest fires with the Temperance card, right? It's like sometimes I think Temperance says only you can be the one to create this turnaround with the Wheel of Fortune. Only you. This right here is the path to glory, and there's this crown in the background. Like, all he has to do is get off on that path, and he will get the change or whatever he wants, He's practicing alchemy. He's trying to turn one thing into another. But again, if he would just get off on this path and just get started, then he would change his situation. And so I think a lot of you are, like, trying to do that. You have the Queen of Pentacles, definitely increasing your resources for sure. And I feel a lot of you could be just like slowly but surely improving your finances, so that feels good. I also feel like a multiplication here that some of you could be noticing. Like some of you could be, especially for those of you in work or business, you could be getting a nice little boost this week. And, I feel like it feels good. It'll be very motivational for you as well. You could be attracting a Capricorn also. Again, Earth really does stand out to me, but it could be any sign. As I say that, with the Five of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles, so Earth really stands out to me for you. It could be any sign. Take it how it resonates. It could be an earthy person, a grounded person. Water does stand out to me as well, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Just find a good person. The King of Pentacles is a card of wealth. In building wealth, which again, like I said, it's almost like you're coming out of that poverty mindset. Even if you're rich, doesn't matter. You can still have a poverty mindset. And I feel that a lot of you are more focusing on abundance, which is great. This is a good thing, not a bad thing, for sure. I think you're focusing on the right things. You also have divine counterparts here. So if you're looking for love, this looks very good. With the Temperance card, you have the Queen of Pentacles again. So just, whenever this happens, it's basically the universe saying I meant what I said. Divine counterparts, improving your finances, really good. And here you go. You have another repeating card. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles, which we have twice going this direction here. So there's probably just a positive change happening for you financially, or you're doing something to create a positive change, which obviously would be a good thing for sure. You have this Inkpot card that says problems to be resolved. Yeah, I definitely feel this for most people. I think that we need to be very careful for the next 3 years with Saturn, especially in Aries, of like letting tiny little things ruin something good, basically. It's like, I think Saturn and Aries, sometimes it can bring up a little frustration where it's like you're working on something, but it could be a frustration that reminds you of the past. Like maybe you tried to build a business years ago, maybe you experience a similar frustration now over the next 3 years, and basically I think we need to push through those things. And we just need to realize that we learned years ago how to solve the problem. So don't let little things become big things, right? You have this owl that says, good advice from a wise person. Yeah, we're in a really good time for mentors. I've been encouraging people to find mentors, even if they're dead, right? I have mentors that I watch on YouTube that are dead, right? So a mentor doesn't have to be alive. There is condensed knowledge in books, right? So you could read a book from a person, but I would definitely find people that you trust to follow. You have this wedge card. It says someone is trying to come between you and a friend and something you want. I think people need to be very careful of this as well. Cancer had a very similar message. I have a feeling more people will get this message. It's like, I don't think people are trying to be bad. I just think that, there could be like jealousy or something coming up. And so if you have something that people want, like a relationship, a business, whatever, there could be people who try to ruin it. And I would just avoid those people. You have this Ram card. It says a stubborn, aggressive person. Yes, same thing. We need to avoid stubborn, aggressive people. The other thing is that we have Mercury going retrograde in Leo. We had Mars retrograde in Leo. So I think that this Mercury retrograde could be bringing up things from the Mars retrograde. So, again, if you dealt with any stubborn or aggressive people at that time, I would avoid those people. You have this goldfish. It says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. The whole entire reading is like an increase in your material wealth, which is a good thing. So this looks pretty good here, Scorpio. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.